Hey.
Why did you say it like that?
Because we're in LA.
Oh my.
You don't have an eating disorder? Get one, bitch. Classic Rachel Sennett.
You're so stupid.
We got her. She's bi-coastal too now. I don't want to hear her peep.
I'm not bi-coastal.
Oh.
I'm here for the time being.
Oh. You said this is all temporary.
This is temporary.
This mess.
I don't go here.
Well, let's set up. Okay, we are in LA right now because...
Can't you tell? Everything looks better. Everything looks nicer.
She's addicted. She loves this life.
No.
She's about to get a lobotomy. I can't wait. We're in LA. Yeah. We're in LA to see a little friend of ours. A good friend. We go way back to childhood, actually.
I've been knowing her for a minute.
She actually might have given
her
birth
for a while. A little gal called Beyoncé Giselle Knowles Carter.
Yeah. Heard of her? Well, you won't stop hearing about it because we'll be talking about this for forever. We are going to Cowboy Carter.
Opening night.
Opening night. I don't know why I thought it was yesterday for some reason.
See, you play about her.
Oh.
And that's why I play about you.
Oh. You hate that. Period. Under. Oh God, can't wait. We didn't go to Renaissance together, but we will be going. We almost did, but Hunter went to Stockholm.
When did we almost go to Renaissance together?
You invited me to come. Ooh, she does play about me. My God.
Yeah, I really do.
She said I forgot already.
So 2 years ago, I went to Renaissance opening night in Stockholm.
Yeah.
And I reviewed it for New York Magazine, and it was maybe one of the more chaotic weeks of my life. I went from Kansas to Stockholm and then back to Kansas to pick up Remy. I became a mother.
Yes,
9 months pregnant at Renaissance World Tour opening night.
Holding that baby.
I was. And yeah, it was okay. This is the thing. I love Renaissance.
Yeah.
But it's no Beachella. And I know you were there, so go ahead. I'm setting you up.
Well, yes. Can confirm on the record. But also, was it a weird experience in Stockholm though?
No, it was actually so fun and great because girl, when I pulled up to the Delta terminal, it was Delta gate 22, the one that's right at the end of the hallway, before you turn down the longest hallway at JFK.
Mm-hmm.
It's the main the first terminal, the first gate that you see.
Okay.
Full of black people. Whole plane. It was giving Soul Plane. If you remember Soul Plane.
Of course I remember Soul Plane.
The BET Snoop Dogg movie from 2004. Yes.
The DEI pilot of my dreams, period.
Oh my gosh. Talk about flight, Denzel. Soul Plane walked so Denzel could soar. But it was literally like that. All black people on the flight going to Beyonce. I was like,
love. You said
we're all family here. People talking about I put on compression socks to go see my queen. I was like, wow. But it was so crazy to be in pretty white main town square kind of, and every black person you saw was going to see Beyonce. People already wearing merch and stuff. I was like, wow. Every person I talked to, I was like, are you going to Beyonce? They're like, of course. Are you?
What do you think we're here for?
It felt like a family reunion abroad. It was really, really lovely.
Mine was actually a family reunion. I went with me, my best friend Evan, and then our moms. But love that. I have to admit something on the pod. This gets Alicia canceled. I
know Alicia does not. She is not a member of the Beehive.
She wants to be. She's an ally to the community, but she did right after Renaissance, which was so fun. Of course, went to Ed Sheeran and had the nerve to say, Ed Sheeran, yeah, that was more fun than Beyonce. She was like, he's a performer. I was like, oh my God, you're going to get shot. The race war begins now, and we're on the losing team. But yeah. Okay, so I did get a DM request to talk about, our little trip to Disneyland for my 3rd birthday celebration. As in, I celebrated my birthday 3 times.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're not 3 years old.
In some communities.
You lied about your age too many times.
Don't bring that up. That was private. I hated that you were there for the scene of the crime.
I'm so happy I was there for that. Okay, no, I'm so glad you brought it up because we have to talk.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, I get added to a group chat called Disney Adults with all 8 people who are going our 8-person jaunt to Disneyland.
Yep.
Why was I getting flamed in the group chat? So I put in my calendar Disneyland from, a cool 11 o'clock in the morning to a very sweet and kind 4 p.m. I said, I'm giving you most of the working hours of the day. I'm giving you most of my business hours. And
you're working on the weekend.
Because I'm a singer.
She had to go to Erewhon.
I'm a singer. And I get roasted. You said, oh, girl, we're going until 10 o'clock at least, at the earliest. If we leave 10 o'clock, that's clocking out a little bit early.
Disney is an all-day event. And then if you've been before, you know that.
Then I get a side text. I get a sidebar being like, if you want to fall back, go ahead. No hard feelings.
I gave her an out.
But be prepared for lines, children, loud noises, crowds, fried food, and I don't want to hear an attitude about it.
And is that not being a good friend? I said, know thyself and know thy sister with an attitude.
No. And let's keep going on the good friend allegations, because then we're pulling up to Disney.
Oh.
And I look at someone's location.
Oh, no. See, that was on y'all. You should have looked at my location before you left to know that I did not leave LA County.
Well, I was like...
until an hour later.
Hold on. So my phone must be broken because we're pulling up to Disney and it's showing her location is damn near LACMA.
And it was. It was.
I said... And then we looked at your close friends and you were, oh, cozy up.
No. Not on the pod.
You were cozied up. And Hilton said, see you soon. Hilton responded to your story saying, see you soon? ? You better be in the car? ? Oh, girl.
Okay, we were not late because of me, though. We were late because I went with the black car and Hunter, unfortunately, went with the white car, so they were on time.
That's not why we were on time. I was on time because I said, it's my sister's birthday. And she's texted me 4 different times telling me to be on time. I said, we're on Black church hours. To be early is to be on time.
Someone we have to have a honorable mention for. Matthew! Okay, listen. We get to Haunted Mansion. Use our Fast Pass. Finally get to front. The one of 3 Fast Passes we can actually use. And a few Fast Passes we later stole. No, not apologies to Disney. And we get to the front of Haunted Mansion only for the ride to break immediately.
Due to tariffs.
Due to the tariffs.
No, I don't know.
Or something. And a man named Matthew that works that ride came out and was like, we are doing all we can for you, whatever you need. Like, we'll try to get it. Like, please just wait 5 minutes. And we are waiting there. We are run down. We are ragged. we have been with my brother, Louis Dix III, all damn day. That is a full-time job in itself. And he says, just 5 minutes. When I tell you, Hunter immediately sets an alarm, points it to Matthew, and says, go.
Well, okay, but you forgot. He told us 5 minutes. And then 5 minutes later, he came back and said, it's going to be just 5 more minutes. I said, timer's been started. And he said, start a timer. I said, okay, great. Timer's been started.
Lewis was like, what do we win, though, if we just sit here longer? But he came back. He said, how am I doing on time? We're like,
I said, you got 2 minutes and 17 seconds, 16 seconds, 15 seconds.
And then he got us in. Shout out to Matthew.
He was on a different type of time. Matthew was. I was like, poor. And then Lewis saying, Matthew has no pull. I was like, don't say it loud enough so Matthew can hear. He's working on our behalf.
No, he couldn't do shit for us. But my man. We love you.
What are we talking about this week? Oh, we're talking about your community centers.
Hell yeah.
And the start of the Karen Reed, us locking into the Karen Reed trial in Massachusetts. When I tell you... Give me some Dunkin' Donuts because I'm locked in on this Massachusetts drama. And then we're talking about the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Little Met Gala preview.
Heard of it?
So let me just say this. Are you looking for a home for your worst opinions?
Are you a hater first, but a lover of pop culture second? Consider this a glorified group chat, but we're not calling you out. No. We're calling you in. It's a safe space.
To talk shit.
But, of course, from Wondery, I'm Peyton Diggs.
And I'm Hunter Harris.
And this is Let Me Say This.
Let me say this.
Let me say this.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
I'm so excited to talk about Sinners.
Oh, God.
It is, yes, it's so good. I saw it when I was in Tulsa in IMAX, thank God.
Yeah,
my dad saw it separately from me, and my dad, who famously called Wild, the movie where Reese Witherspoon does all that walking.
Yeah.
He said I thought it was gonna be a church movie. He said, I didn't know it was gonna be a horror movie. I didn't know there were gonna be vampires there. I was like, so why did you go see it?
Do you like it?
He was like, I was very surprised. That was he liked it, but he kept saying, I was very surprised. I was very surprised when there were vampires there. I was very surprised when it didn't turn churchy. I was like, oh, Lord. Anyway, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Sinners yet, skip forward 15 minutes because we will be getting into it.
So the logline for this is Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. The twin brothers in question, both being played by Michael B. Jordan.
My man's career, according to me, was in shambles when he was in People's Sexiest Man Alive 2020.
Wow.
That was a low moment for us all. He was like over indexing on like the cornball scale. He was like giving like
Wait, not the year of the race war.
I know. He really fell on his sword.
Did he do that PR stunt relationship with Lori Harvey after that?
I don't think that was PR.
I think it was.
No, I think they just are both pretty like dull people. No offense. But
No
anyway,
offense.
well, no, I'm just saying. But the thing is that now he's back.
Yeah.
Now we're so back.
Now
Now I'm
thank
like,
God.
I'm so locked in. I'm like, we're back to like him working with Ryan Coogler. Something important happens there. Ryan Coogler, who, sexy, says you need to
Thick
step
ol'
it up.
accent.
You need a thick old talk about
Thick.
it. I loved Sinners.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was the like how precisely Michael B. Jordan played the two twin brothers, Smoke and Stack. One of them is hotter than the other. You can draw your own conclusions. However, it was Stack. I want to be clear on that. But no, I was like, wow, I forgot that he was such a good actor and like has really always been pretty talented. Because you know what? I was throwing dirt on his name when he was on the New York Times list of like top performers of the century. I was like, that's a little bit too much. But now after Sinners, I said he deserved his spot.
After Sinners, not like Fruitvale Station. He was fantastic in that.
Well, yes, but we've been so far from that. It was
yeah.
like, you know, a good performance, but I was like,
What did you
what
say
have you done
about,
for me lately?
about the way he was playing it in your newsletter? It was so funny. Like what characters he was playing Smoke and Stack as. When I was watching it, I was thinking Michael B. Jordan was playing Stack as if he was his role in Black Panther. And then Smoke as if he was Creed.
Well, I love a villain. What can I say?
Well, okay, bad girl.
I'm
LA's changed
I'm a
you.
bad girl. Call Billie Eilish. I'm a bad girl.
Don't do all that. But I actually, can I get something white off my chest? I'm going to say something real Caucasian.
You love Hailee Steinfeld.
Duh, of course. I'm an adult who watched Pitch Perfect too. I have ears. Where was she on the track?
Okay.
But no, you know what I love? Lola Kirk. I mean, Lola Kirk, that is my, what?
You are so, you were the only person in America who walks out of Sinners and you're like, don't play about my girl. Don't play about my girl. And it's Lola Kirk. And listen, I love Mistress America as much as the next woman. But still, that's so crazy. I also love her little folk music that she posts on her Instagram.
Me too. That's why I love her.
But that's not my top thought when I walk out of Sinners.
No, not my top
thought. My top thought is arm. And my second top thought is
pussy.
Other arm.
Oh. And that's being gay and being straight. My first thought was, oh, everybody's eating pussy here. Everybody.
And I saw that tweet that was like, Sinners is a movie for eaters. And I said, oh, it can't be like, and I was like, oh.
For sure.
They said, napkin in.
No, fuck the napkin.
Napkin
they're
is
straight
on
in it.
I haven't felt like, Sinners is so horny that it's like, it reminds me of WAP. Get a bucket and a mop.
Yeah. And it's horny in this way that's not like True Blood horny. It's like, or maybe it is.
It's a little
over the
True Blood.
top.
It's a little True Blood. But it's back to like, not since Challengers have I seen a movie that's so like actually sexy.
Yeah.
That feels like with a real sense of like purpose in its sexiness.
Yeah.
Which, you know, like a movie like Anora about a sex worker doesn't really have.
You posted a black square. If you don't know who we're talking about, you posted a black square and you archived it later. Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow. One scene in Sinners that gets a lot of attention that I think is kind of like the thesis and bedrock of the movie is the scene where Preacher Boy, Sammy, is like playing the blues in the juke joint. And then we get like, it's like he's conjuring all of these spirits of like black past and black futures with like, we get like 80s rap, like Sir Mix-a-Lot kind of, we get like tribal music, we get like Native American like music. And what did you think of that scene? You found it cornball?
I was like, is this supposed to be like campy? I actually came away from the whole movie being like, was this supposed to be campy? In a way, I don't think Ryan Coogler is interested in doing camp. But that scene took me so far out of the movie, I will say.
Really?
I actually like didn't. I loved the score of the movie.
Yeah.
I felt like that scene felt very hotep-y. I didn't like it. I didn't need that. I think there were other maybe visual ways we could have played with that. This felt super on the nose with the voiceover that was happening, I think at the same time of like explaining like
No, I think that the voiceover was at the very beginning. Like that kind of set the mood for like how there are people who can like live and conjure two separate like realities at once.
I thought that it came back for some reason. Even if it didn't though, I just felt like it really took me out of being present in a movie that I was already having so much fun with.
Interesting.
And it didn't resonate with me.
Interesting.
It like
interesting.
Annoyed me, in fact.
Okay. Wow, geez.
Sorry.
Okay, like sit down.
No,
Gosh.
I love it. He said, nope, Peyton.
Relax.
Hey.
Just calm down. It's just a movie. Relax. No, I really liked that scene.
Oh,
I thought it went on for a little bit too long.
Yeah.
But I think it really, I don't know. I think that Ryan Coogler has this way of like playing toward like the like cinema goer, but like also playing to like a populist end. And that he has like those, I think like David Fincher kind of has the same quality too. And Steven Soderbergh as well, where it's like you really, like what a deft filmmaker who can make something that is just incredibly entertaining, but also really thoughtful and artistic. And I thought that scene, it went on for a little bit too long, but I did like it as like a thesis statement for the movie that is really about like straddling two worlds that happens with like the literal vampires, also with like the actual like racism and double consciousness of that. But I think I felt how you were feeling with the post-credit scene.
Right.
That one felt like, okay, we're putting a hat on top of a hat.
But also it was in like it's not just, okay, let me be clear that it wasn't just the scene itself. It was also the styling of both of those scenes. Like the wardrobe felt campy. It felt like there were other things you could have to indicate the 80s, like put them in that didn't feel too overtly performative.
Yeah.
Like something about it felt like, no, there's a way to nod to the 80s without doing like the classic like specs and like her ponytail. I mean, Hailee was walking that walk though for sure in the end, but like I don't know, that took me right back out of it again. I haven't had this much fun, probably since Challengers in a movie. So I really liked how, and something else that kind of took me out was when I forgot her name, but the Asian mother was like, let him in, like let's rip.
Oh yeah.
That felt rushed to me, but at the same time I was like, well, we have a job to do, which is like fight some vampires. So like I guess let's get to it, but it did kind of feel rushed and random a little bit.
Yeah.
Motherhood, I guess.
There were some like points of escalation that didn't entirely work for me, where it's like the vampires just kind of disappear at the end. Like it's like, oh, daylight, like it's daybreak and they're all of a sudden like,
well, that's classic.
They don't know what kind of time they're on.
Okay, someone didn't watch True Blood. Didn't watch Vampire
I'm a fang
Diaries.
banger for real. I of course watch True Blood.
And one more time to camera. I want to clip that, send it to your mom whenever you piss me off. I'm a fang banger for real. You're sick. That was crazy, and I'm me, so I'm saying that.
I've been on True Blood time.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, Suki. That's my man. Shout out to Bill.
I was an Alex girl. I was an Alex Skarsgård girl.
Fair.
Yeah,
that's kind of bi of you, but I see that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I did really like that Ryan Coogler. I think it was on Democracy Now, where he had a chance to like take the wind out of the conversation in like Vulture, in Deadline, in Variety, and The Hollywood Reporter, like all the conversation about how he's gotten this like really novel deal where in 25 years he will like regain ownership of the movie.
Yeah.
Because every news story about how well Sinners is performing is like with the caveat that, oh, but it's not like profitable yet. And I liked his answer, like, my deal is not novel. People have gotten these deals before, and I've only been making franchises. I like wanted to own something for myself, and I may not seek this like for the next movie that I make, but I wanted it for this one. And I thought that was like, wow, he feels like hometown hero.
Shout out to Ryan though. And also shout out to, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't know Hailee Steinfeld was black, by the way. You did? You knew your sister?
No, I don't know. But I feel like a lot of people like, she's not a black woman. I'm like, but you don't remember the one dropper? Like, where were you during AP US history?
Where were you during Jim Crow era?
what did she say? Her like grandparent, one of her grandparents was black. They would have considered her black back in the day.
And I consider her black right now.
No one watched Imitation of Life. Hello. Passing. No one watched Passing.
No one watched Passing. Well,
it was so good and people should have.
Question for the culture. When you were watching the pitch of the vampires being like, we can live in like a post-racial society if you guys just join us, were you kind of convinced?
You would have gone outside? You would have gone outside?
I seen Bella Swan. She looking good. She got thick after she turned. I said, maybe me too. I would have gone. I was like, that sounds epic, actually.
I'm so like, wow. That is so crazy of you. You would have taken the pitch. No, you would have absolutely tried to bring me outside, and I'm feet planted in the word of the Lord. I'm saying no, no, no.
I don't know. The times they was living in wasn't looking too great.
I'm pulling on the full army of God to stay in that house, to stay in that juke joint.
You're vertical to his horizontal.
How is that what you always think of? That's how I know you didn't grow up in the church.
Nope.
No. But I did really love the scene where that one guy looks like Forrest Whitaker was like, invite me in. It's like, no.
But even that scene is so campy.
Yeah.
To be like, I was just in there. Come on, stop playing with me. Please. Like, that would be me, actually. That would be me to you.
That really would be. And that
unconvincing.
I'm walking in everywhere first. I'm letting you walk in second and see what happens.
We go to Beyonce, you say, come on in, Peyton. Let's see what happens.
No, I'm saying, why don't you come on in my car? Come on in my Lyft.
I was convinced. They got me. And that's on being biracial. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, like, once a month, we basically let Hunter rattle off for about, 10 minutes on a thing. Usually it's Housewives. And this is a different kind of white terror. I will say, though, Hunter pitched, what's it called? What's the show called?
A Body in the Snow.
Say
the
with
trial
less attitude.
of Karen Reed.
Fix your face now. Your neck is moving in a crazy way. She said, I don't play about my girl, Karen.
And I don't. And Karen, get behind me.
And I will say at 10 o'clock last night, I was like, okay, I'll try to watch a few episodes. And I woke up this morning and watched 2 and wish I desperately had more time.
When have I ever led you astray? Catherine Cold-Birdie.
Love.
Karen Reed.
Moving to New York outside of Boston.
Totally.
Which leads us to.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's talk about Massachusetts.
Okay, I guess spoiler alert if you plan to watch Body in the Snow but haven't watched it yet. Although, listen, the whole car ride to Disney, I was telling about what's going on with this case, and people were like, I gotta lock in. Rachel and Hilton were like, you know what? You got me. I'm gonna press play on this because that's so crazy. Okay, so it's all covered in a Max miniseries called The Body in the Snow. It's 5 episodes, all in about 40 minutes. The quickest 5 hours of my life. I canceled my plans. I said, girl, I'm staying in. I can't go to Eagle Rock.
Bitch, you stay in anyway. Shut up.
Okay, so cast of characters here. Karen Reed, who was dating this Boston police officer named John. Yeah. John O'Keefe. They go on a bar crawl, then go to the afters. Mm-hmm. She drops him off at the afters.
Calling his murder scene the afters is so funny and so evil.
It's funny. That's what it is.
They go to the afters.
They do go to the. They were out drinking
to the afters.
They do drunk drive to the afters, and she's like, all these people are cops. Everyone we were out with are cops, and they all go out drunk drive home, act like it's totally normal, which is crazy. Anyway, so they go to this house of the Albert family. Yeah. And John does not make it in the house. He's out on the lawn, dead, a body in the snow. They say that she, when she dropped him off, backed into him in her Lexus SUV.
Lexus, nice.
Mm-hmm. She got money. Lexus SUV, and that he fell out, hit his head, maybe somehow died in the snow. Yeah. At the very end of the first episode, so putting this plan, it seems like, she was the last person to see him alive. She discovered the body a couple hours later, Then her defense team, who also rep Kevin Spacey, crazy, gets a call saying you need to look at the people inside of the house.
Mm-hmm. The call is coming from inside the house.
Literally. Roots. And it's actually a Google search coming from inside the house.
And a crazy one at that.
Hours before they discovered his body, someone at the afters inside the house Googled,
opened up Chrome,
how long to die in the snow. And if you thought I didn't buckle my seatbelt twice, put on my parachute and say, sugar, we're going down.
Great song. Great reference. Woo, white people are crazy.
Am I more than you bargained for yet? That's a song, right?
Yeah. You did well.
You've been to many white weddings.
I can tell. Yeah.
No, I don't play about them. So you locked in, and what did you think? What's your? Because as I was watching it, I was like, okay. One side says that she killed him.
Yeah.
Karen's side says it's an actual huge criminal conspiracy within the Boston Police Department.
Yeah.
And at first I was like...
Which I'm always going to believe.
I was like, maybe. But everything else I learned, I was like, this is a frame. This is a frame-up job.
I felt that way. I mean, I only watched the first 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And even like the voicemail, I think she left him because she said, she was like, he went into the house fully. Like, this is what Karen claims, is that he went into the house and she was left out waiting for him to try and figure out if it was fine for them to go in or not, and then just left him there. Which makes sense. I'm gonna leave my
And that she was calling him all night, being like, where are you? Cursing him out over the phone.
I'm with your kids. Yeah.
And that I'm like, first of all, if she is trying to get away with a murder, now Viola Davis is telling her, don't leave yourself talking crazy on this man's voicemail.
Viola calls Karen, girl, listen to me. But when I knew that I was locked in for something so delicious was when...
Is it when she recounts how many drinks that she had?
And it was 6? So it was going to be 6 within 3 hours.
She's on your type of... Oh, I forgot you're sober now. But she was on your type of time. She was like, well...
That was me in Boston, too.
No, but the way that she describes it, that was when I was like, oh, we're in for some...
Someone got me a double, and then we got a shot, and then I put that shot in the double, so it would be about 6 throughout the night.
But the way she says it is like, well, yeah, technically, I guess I had 6 drinks, but I got a double, and then I got a single, and I poured it in, and I'm like, ooh.
So I just went ahead and made it a triple. Queen shit. But it was when I was watching the people, like the narrative start to shift, people started cheering for Karen and like advocating for her. And people were saying, let freedom ring, as if the soul of Martin Luther King himself had entered their body to fight for this woman named Karen. I love that her name is Karen. And when people described it as, either you're pro Karen or you're pro police, isn't that the way? I was like, sometimes. ¿Por qué no los dos? Yeah, I took Spanish for 7 weeks, but why not both is what that means. Anyway, that's when I knew something really white and something really stupid.
This has divided the state of Massachusetts. It has divided the city of Boston. So I've heard. Yeah.
She keeps an ear to the streets in Boston. She doesn't return herself, but she has intel. I
gotta know what's going on in the line at Duncan, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, a few details that we have to talk about because... So it's like, if any one of these things were true, and listen, I'm well-versed in my Law & Order. I'm well-versed in my legal courtroom drama.
She's seen a Marriage Story a few times.
Yeah, my parents are divorced.
Okay.
My dad
and that. Yeah. Oh, right.
But it's like, if one of these things were true, I'd be like, okay, maybe a coincidence. But all of these things being true of like the defense in this, no, this is crazy to me. First, that the Google search happened, how long to die in the cold, happened hours before like John's body would have been discovered. Yeah. That's crazy. That the woman who Googled this, who was inside the afters, had deleted the Google search, covering up her trail. No, that's crazy. That the marks on John's body were not consistent with vehicular manslaughter, not consistent by being hit by a car. He had scratches on his arm.
You're reminding me of that lawyer from Search Party.
Oh, and thank God. That's dope. You should have told me that.
In like YSL loafers and like spilling tea.
You should have told me that because now I'm activated.
Yeah. She's perked up.
I really am.
Well, can you go ahead and spoil it for me? I love a spoiler. I don't care. Of like, well, what ends up happening in terms of, they started to find like the car pieces that they found were only
the taillight.
Hours after.
Well, okay. So a few things about this, about collecting evidence at the scene.
Yeah.
First of all, they put that icy like blood in Solo cups. Not even as an RA would we collect Solo cups in that way. And we went through 3 days of training that was pretty bad. Anyway, that they couldn't find any pieces of the taillight like in like the next like month.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, a month later, all the ice in the snowstorm melts, and then they start finding a bunch of pieces of the taillight. That's giving plant. That's giving her industry plant.
Okay.
Then,
yeah,
it looks like the marks on John's body are consistent with like a dog bite or dog scratches. The family inside the house used to have a dog. Oh, all of a sudden it's rehomed.
Wait.
They rehomed the dog.
Because I was going to say, when it cuts to his arm, I was like, that doesn't look... As someone who's famously been hit by multiple vehicles...
It looks like cuts.
And she was saying he had a
cuts on his face. Lacerations
yeah.
on his face. Yes. Lacerations, the biblical name, the government name of what it means to have cuts. And then this is the part that... Oh, okay. Meanwhile, later they like subpoena for the text of the investigator, like the lead investigator.
Yeah.
And he's talking about Karen crazy. He's like, she's hot but has no ass. He's like, she's crazy. He's like, I don't trust her. She should kill herself. I'm like, what?
Didn't they say they were trying to slut her up? Is that what...
Yeah, that's what the attorney said,
Yeah.
because they really were. I'm like, this is hours after he's like assigned to the case that he's talking about her in this way to his high school friends. I'm like, you're blowing up your group chat. And because of all of those like texts, he was fired. So it's enough to have him fired from his job.
Oh.
These texts are so inappropriate and bad, but it's like, you know, fruit of the poisonous tree, as we call it on Loan or SVU, that everything he's touched is now tainted because of his clear and present bias. And then the really crazy part is that all the people inside the house, inside the afters, tell me how 3 different people butt dial John's phone all night.
Wait, they claim that they butt dial it?
There are calls from people in the house to John's cell phone, multiple calls of like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Why are you blowing up this man's phone 30 seconds at a time? What is that? And all 3 of those people say, oh, we just happen to all butt dial him. And 2 of the people it's like, are you Captain Underpants?
Yeah. And aren't these like lead police? Like these aren't just regular police officers.
And we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Then 2 of the people are in it like they're married and they're like, well, we were intimate.
Hunter crossing her arms right now. Oh my God. That's what that sound was.
You're knocking boots in a bed and you're both butt dialing the same man? And that makes sense to you?
Jane, these people ain't never had sex before. That's not how it works.
I'm like, I feel like I'm Idris Elba on that one episode of The Wire. Are you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy?
But also,
you're leaving a paper trail?
Wasn't there a thing where they said that she was saying, like, claiming that she killed him over and over, and then they play all the audio and there's not one quote of her saying that?
Not only is there not any audio of her saying that, but the attorney is like, her defense attorney is like, so first of all, you said that you heard her say it, that she killed him 3 times. Then you claimed it was 2 times. Yeah. Now you're saying it's 3 times again. It went from 8 to 6 to 4. Cynthia Bailey, Needy Leaks.
I knew that reference, yes. Real Housewives.
Yeah, you're learning my language.
Yeah.
And then the other thing about the butt dials is that clearly it was like they were looking for his cell phone. Yeah. And they were trying to listen for it and couldn't find it. So it's like all of these things, like I'm saying, one of these things, crazy. All of these things together, no, free my sister Karen.
I have to ask, in the end of it, though, do any of these people, is anyone held accountable?
I'm so glad you asked. The only person who's ever been held accountable in this is Karen, because the case ends in real life in a mistrial. So they have to retry the entire case, and it's happening right now.
Oh.
So they're retrying the entire case.
Damn. White woman down 100.
I'm going to say period on my memory. I love, what did my mom, she said I love drama, and I do.
Jesus, Hunter's arms and
Couldn't
legs are
remember
so
the Pythagorean theorem, but I can remember every detail of the Karen Reed case.
And this is school for you. You're the teacher and I'm the student. My God. And I'm learning big time. I'll tell you that.
So all I can say is, you know what? At the end of the day going to end. I'm going to be on Court TV watching this.
I know.
I don't even like true crime like that.
Sitting outside waiting for a result. Yeah. I see that for you, actually. Reporting on the ground. First Monday in May. You know what that means?
Where were we that someone was like, when is the Met Gala? I was like, duh, the first Monday in May.
I think we're in a production meeting for this podcast.
Well, many such cases.
But, and this year's theme, Superfine Tailoring Black Style, and it explores the importance of style to the formation of Black identities in the Atlantic diaspora, particularly in the United States and Europe. And who are our co-chairs? Coleman Domingo, thank God. If he wasn't a co-chair, I'd actually be pissed. Lewis Hamilton, A$AP Rocky. I'll say also thank God on that one, too.
No, if he knows how to do one thing, it's dress.
It's wear a suit. Ooh.
He knows how to wear a suit.
That's a pretty man, I'll say that. Go ahead, Rihanna, get your bad bitch. Pharrell and LeBron as honorary co-chair.
Meaning he has a real job.
Yeah.
He has a day job.
He said, I'm not free. I don't know what to
He's
tell
like,
you.
I'm busy. Sorry, excuse me.
Sorry, winning games over here. LA. Okay. One, I can't wait to see Coleman Domingo.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be our saving grace and continuously has been.
Yeah, I can't wait to see A$AP Rocky.
And by proxy, I can't wait to see Rihanna if she shows up at all.
Well, she has to show up.
No, of course she will.
Oh my goodness.
It'll just be like, actually, maybe she'll show up on time.
Oh, I guess, yeah, she'll have to get there early.
Because her whole thing is always showing up
at the very end.
Everyone off.
Yeah. But I'm very excited. But you know, I'm messy like that. The Met Gala always reminds me of the anniversary of
if this somehow goes to Lady Bird, I swear to God.
Separation, their date of legal separation, which was the Challenger's release day. And it was just after that that Ben Affleck was busy filming The Accountant 2 and couldn't show up to the Met Gala where JLo was a co-chair.
So it all goes back to divorce. Somehow, some way. My God.
Anyway, I am so excited because did you see the Vogue GQ collab photo shoot with everyone in Black Hollywood except for us?
Make it make sense.
But it was so, I was like, wow, this is like magazines can do things that like other types of media that like regular just influencer photo shoots can't. Yeah. Like the styled by La Roche, photographed by Tyler Mitchell, featured who? Spike Lee, Io Debris, Janelle Monáe, your twin from Industry, John Batiste,
which is one of my favorite looks. And
Tiana Taylor,
that was one of my favorite looks too.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah. First people I want to see coming to mind, Queen Latifah.
Oh,
I mean, because I feel like a lot of Tom Brown was using that shoot. And when you think of like tailoring and suiting, it's Tom Brown. But I do think like
Tiana Taylor and Tom Brown, like, what, 2 years ago? One of my favorite Met Gala looks ever,
by
the way.
Yeah. And then, hear me out. I want Steve Harvey on this carpet. I want Steve Harvey and all his teeth on that carpet. He's fitted as fuck.
He does know how to wear a suit.
Now
he's always known how to wear a suit. It's just, does the suit know how to wear him?
Yeah, the suit was wearing him before, and now he's wearing the suit.
Yeah.
And thank God for growth.
Yeah,
we love that.
I'd also see like Cedric the Entertainer, all of like the kings of comedy.
Yes, Louis Dix.
I would love to see all of them on the carpet. Because it feels like, because there is, I happened to rewatch the Kings of Comedy tour a couple months ago, and it was like, wow, this is like such a feat of like presentation. They're all like wearing their like Sunday best to go to that show and perform at that show. And it's like, wow, that's so nice. I did see a really lovely Vogue story about like Vogue writers and contributors like showing photos of like their fathers, grandfathers, uncles, cousins, and how they just like look suited and booted.
Yeah.
I was like, that I am happy that like this is getting like this mainstream attention.
Yeah. And you know it, the lesbians are gonna tear it up. Why do you think I started with Queen Latifah?
Oh, yeah.
The only lesbian that pisses me off in a suit is Janelle Monáe. I don't know why it's not there for me. Sorry.
That's something for you to unpack in therapy, maybe.
It is actually, maybe.
But who else are you excited to see?
Well, I want Rihanna and A$AP to redo what they did last year. Do you remember when they showed up in like a blanket and a beanie?
Oh, you want that again?
No, I need a redemption arc from that.
Oh,
because you can't be late and wearing a blanket.
Yeah.
Even though me in high school actually like every day.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's every student who has a first period algebra class.
I just felt like because she had so many years of literally being like best dressed, turning it all out, the heavenly bodies.
I mean, that was the best and also most profitable Met Gala exhibition of all time.
Oh. I wasn't looking at the numbers, but definitely the looks. That year was one of my favorites, and so was Sleeping Beauties was kind of fun too to me. But anyway, I want to see Rihanna make a comeback from whatever the hell that was last year.
I can't wait to see Zendaya, of course.
Of course. Oh, Zendaya
can't wait to see
in
Zendaya.
a suit.
Yes.
Oh.
Tyler, the Creator. Oh, I can't wait to see him.
Oh my God, that's a good one.
I can't believe he's not a co-host. Maybe he's busy.
Yeah, because I feel like that's also like a big part of his look now.
Is suiting?
Especially after Igor. I feel like he had that like little like tight tailored look for a minute.
Yeah, I think he's still doing that.
Oh, well, good for him. Consistent. You know who I don't want to see? Cara Delevingne.
No,
I'm over throwing shit. She seems healthy and happy, and that's all I want for her. She's the bodyguard of my woman, Megan Thee Stallion. Keep her safe. But the looks that girl turns are always so treacherous, and she doesn't do suiting well. And I just not with her, but I I'm fearful of this theme. White people, as we just mentioned, can get real ambitious real fast.
I don't know what Katy Perry's gonna do.
Send her back to space for this one. Keep her away.
I don't know what Katy Perry's gonna do. I don't know what J-Lo is gonna do. Oh my God.
Wear a nude lip and a basic dress and a high pony or whatever. Oh my God.
Not too much on the high ponytail.
Sorry.
Do you think Beyonce's gonna be there? I mean, I'm sure she's really busy.
No.
Oh, you know who I do want to see? Simone Biles. I'm excited for her look. I saw her on a carpet talking about like how she was so looking forward to and that she has something big planned, and so I'm excited for that.
Well, I really liked Naomi Aki's look in this Vogue shoot, and so if that's where she's hopefully leaning into in her styling, because she looks good as hell in the suit.
Who is going to be the Luann de Lesseps showing up to the Roni, what was that, season like 11 or 12 Halloween party when she dressed up fully in blackface as Diana Ross, and she said, "No, I just had a big bronze that night."
A big bronze?
Something crazy like that. Who is going to do something that's like, oh, wow?
Well, now that Cara Delevingne is hopefully sober, not her, but who...
I guess we'll have to watch the space.
Who are our most ambitious white people right now? They all kind of dialed it back. Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish.
If there's one event for her to dress like Chingy, it's this one.
And she better stand on it. I swear to God, if she comes in a little dress.
She's like, no.
Do it. 10 toes down, Billie.
She is gonna look... Okay, I'm not gonna say it.
Well, that's it for this week. As usual, we are 2 online, so you don't have to be.
Well, now that we've come to the end of the road...
Say it, hey.
Did you watch Out of the Box?
Yeah, of course.
Goodbye to you, my friend.
We were supposed to keep this part short, by the way.
Oh, now it's a crime to be long-winded on this podcast? Right. What we're getting at is that this is the end of season 1.
Yeah, we're going on vocal rest for 2 weeks, but we will be back May 21st. Mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars.
Yeah, we'll return. You're welcome.
We will be back.
And stronger than ever.